Peace and light, peace and love. Thank you for connecting with the Pretty Priestess podcast. This is the ministry of being your own best friend. The intention here is to empower and inspire you in doing that by connecting, aligning with the divine guidance that surrounds us, and recognizing the sacredness of beauty and aesthetics while cultivating the wisdom to make magical lives out there. So, with that, let's get it. My foot, my shoe. Fuck them, do you. Going on, y'all? Peace and light and love, and thank you for connecting with me. I am Priestess Shakesha Divine, and this is the Pretty Priestess podcast. Got a lot of shit that I want to go over with. We go get ourselves ready for this energy that we are about to encounter, experience. We're really in the midst of it right about now, but we are going to really begin experiencing this in some most profound and transformative ways. And so definitely I got that business for us to be about so that we can really get in alignment for the assignment out here in these particular streets. Some shit that's going to help us to be in our highest vibration out here, overcoming all of the obstacles and challenges, baby. We finna do that shit, no doubt about it. So I want to talk a little bit about this autumn equinox because it is absolutely a time of reflection. And so right now I'm sitting here going through this whole nostalgic thing, right? Going through all of these old CDs and everything that I had. And right now I am really, really vibing with this Jill Scott, the very first one she put out, the Who Is Jill Scott. And when she put this record out, I'm telling you, I was done. I was absolutely a fan after that. I let that bad boy just play and play. I cleaned the house with it. It was my thing. And so now I'm just really looking back at like some of those old routines that I used to be into, right? Where I would just put in a CD and just really immerse myself in the artistry of that particular artist and everything, just like the CD play and everything. See, now I done hopped into technology where I got a playlist and now it just hopscotches with everybody's groove and everything. And so you don't really get to experience the true craftsmanship of the musician. And so with that, I'm just liking that whole vibe. And so now I've been just really throwing a CD in and just letting the artist just really allow me to immerse myself in that vibe. And so right now it's been on this Jill Scott thing, right? And this song, Do You Remember Me, is tapping into this particular energy of this autumn equinox, a time of reflection. We in Libra season, baby. And Libra is all about our relationships. See, this thing with the zodiac is a powerful tool for enlightenment. Because as we go through each of the individual zodiac signs, they symbolize different phases and places in our lives, in our journey, right? And so we start off with Aries that starts with the self and all of the different aspects within ourselves. When we go through Aries, we go through Taurus, we go through Gemini and Cancer and Leo and then Virgo, right? And these are all within the aspects of the self and really giving us an idea of how we became who we are today. And so now as we shifting into the divine feminine season, because we just coming out of divine masculine, right? With that spring equinox shifts us into the divine masculine. Making sure I'm catching folks up, huh? For those of us that ain't aware, I'm putting you down. I got you. And so now we're into the divine feminine season. And this is a time for us to reflect. It's allowing us to go within. You see, when we move over into this eclipse, when we pass over into this autumn equinox, family, this is giving us an opportunity to see how we impact in the world around us. And so Libra sets it off. We're having us check in on our relationships. You see, when the sun is in this position, it reminds us to examine how we're shining our light within our relationships right now. And so that sun being in Libra, asking us to take a look at those themes in Libra. with our relationships, but not just our romantic relationships, baby. We talking about relationships with everything, what have you, right? We talking about partnerships in business. We even talking about them open enemies. I mean, them adversaries that's out there too. We want to really begin to see the impact of how we make on people, places, things, situation, whatever, and what have you. And so Libra season asks us to check in, making sure that it's fair, it's balanced, it's just. And so this is a really powerful, powerful time for us to really begin and taking all of the knowledge that we have and turning it into our wisdom. Now, this partial solar eclipse that we had, it went down in Virgo this time. And if you ain't really astute on how this went down, let me tell you something. It switched up the order of how the moon's energy begins showing up. So last month it started off with the new moon. But this particular month, it starts full moon because we got another new moon in Virgo. So for the Libra season, it starts off with the full moon and then the new moon in Virgo. It's reverse. And this is giving us some more time for reflection. It explains the way that this energy is going down. Now, when I was grooving to that, do you remember me? When I first heard that, I said, oh. But that reminiscent energy, it just really began reminding me about a lot of old things that I've been through and gone through. And just really how reflecting on how I've been showing up in all of the partnerships, in all of my relationships, in all of my connections. And so this is going to give us an opportunity to really get ourselves down, to get the way that we've been operating down pat. You understand? You see, this was a partial solar eclipse, and so that earth shadow casting on that moon gives us that pause for reflection. And see, the earth shadows is showing up because see, we moved into this divine feminine season. 29 degrees of Virgo is an analytic degree. And what that means is that this is where you get that lesson. This is where that mastery is at. 29 degrees, it steps into the discernment. And so when we move into the critical degree of 0 degrees of Libra, which is opposing Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries, this is about major shifts in how we've been doing our relationships. This is about making sure that we catching the lessons in all of the things in our life, giving us an opportunity for mastery. And so this is where this dragon energy has been coming through in some profoundly powerful ways. Because we're getting opportunities to be tested and discernment in the mastery of the work that we've been doing. So what this energy is really asking us as we move into this divine feminine, baby, is can you apply it to your everyday life? All of that meditation, the exercise, the yoga, the chanting, the baths, the spells, whatever, what have you, right? Is this working for you? See, and how are you in your relationships? Because Libra is that check and balance, baby. See, you go get this business dealing with this Libra energy, right? I almost said Leo. We go quit that shit because the sun is in Libra at this point. See, this is the check and balance. Are your relationships fair, balanced? Are they just? Are you living in your truth? You know your relationships, they provide insight to that, right? See, divine feminine season is a time for reflection, a time of testing, a time when that earth, it darkens. And if you know the story about the goddess Persephone, where she goes into the underworld during the fall season, which is why the trees shed their leaves during that particular time. all of the plants begin to retract back into the earth. And this is the story of Persephone. It gives that indication of when we go into that divine feminine as opposed to the divine masculine. When Persephone goes back down into Hades, all of the plants begin to die away. And then when she comes back into the earth, all of the plants begin to spring back into life, which is where the spring equinox comes when she returns back into the earth. But I want to tap into this particular underworld because this is something that I've been observing with this particular fall equinox. You see, this is when all of the underworld energies start resurfacing and everything. You know, the old boyfriend who was a jackass, he want to come back talking about he's seeing things differently. Relatives come getting out of jail, wanting to know if they can come and stay with you. Everybody with a sad story, any antisocial personality, they just may be showing up. So you keep your eyes open. This is a time for discernment. You understand? See, this is a time right here that's going to give us an opportunity to be in alignment with the greater version of ourselves. See, during this eclipse, y'all, I saw dragons. And I knew that a whole nother level of magic was being awakened, baby, into the dragon. The magic of them dragons, baby. A new phase is emerging. See, when them dragons show up, this is exactly what they letting you know some major shit is going down in your life. This is opening us up to be a little bit more vulnerable, for us to take risks, for us to get out and do shit, to be about that business we said that we was about. The dragons will help you tap into that. It's a time to take what you know and apply it. And listen, this is a time right now for those that get what I'm talking about here, those mystics that's out here in these particular streets. It's time for them to stand up and call on them dragons. When you practicing, call on the dragons for the adventure. Call on the dragons to overcome obstacles, your triggers, your fears. They help you confront that shit and be clear with it profoundly. They don't care about the teaching. They don't care about your initiation or your activation. Would you give me a pause for the cause? Because see, that dragonfly came through and I got to give that's an honorable mention right there. No doubt. Shout out and salute to the dragonfly. You see, when that dragonfly comes through, this is about being able to see through the illusions. That dragon magic is absolutely tapping you into that because you're going to need that. We had that 29 degrees of discernment with Virgo, that anoretic degree, giving us a level of mastery out here in these particular streets so that we can see the foolishness, the fuckery, the madness, right? A mile away coming, and we can deal with it effectively. That's what this energy of the dragon is, baby. Gives two damns about the teaching. See, we gonna call on these dragons, right? Because this divine feminine season, see, this is the time when your triggers, your fears, see, this is what dark goddess work is about. Now, you don't know nothing about that. I'm gonna leave you a link in that bio so that you can definitely connect to this goddess, this dark goddess energy and how this works. Because see, this is where the real business is at, right here. See, when you're dealing with that dark feminine energy, this is about self-mastery, baby. This is putting you into a whole nother driver's seat. And see, there's a lot of folks that's out here in these streets. They don't want you to know about this shit. They don't want you to self-actualize. Because shit, if you do, then you won't need them. Then you will not be able to find yourself in a position of mastery where you can navigate situations so that you can win at the end of the day. You won't need no assistance with that. And so now this is a time right now where these dragons are showing up for those of us that's really out here doing this work, that's about this business. It's asking us to really move into this space of awareness. And the equinox, it brings tests to see if you caught that lesson. No doubt. See, the divine feminine seasons which is the fall and the winter. They're times of reflection. This ain't the time for you to be getting into no new bullshitting ass relationship. This is a time for you to be building, right? Going within, gaining that understanding, releasing the programs, right? The all or nothing thinking, right? The false narratives where you picture yourself as one image, and of course, we definitely ain't in alignment. How you know? Because you triggered by the truth, huh? And so these dragons is coming through in some big, profound ways, stepping in here when that sun is in Libra, insisting that we use that balance, baby. And see, Libra energy is an auspicious tap into this dragon magic right here, baby, no doubt. Because see, what dragons, they require first and foremost, they require you find that balance within your life. You're going to have to make sure that you checking in on all of your relationships. Because see, this is the way of the dragon, is to be balanced in all of the shit you're doing. And see, when that eclipse came through, man, I saw them dragons going across that sky. I said, oh, we got a whole nother other going down. You can see how this energy has shifted on through. See, 29 degrees of Virgo being that mastery, being that discernment, you stepping into this energy where you taking all of them lessons and you are incorporating in them lives, and you being the badass that you supposed to be out here in these particular streets. Libra energy is an auspicious tap in that. It's an auspicious tap into that glamour magic. Because Libra is that energy. It's ruled by Venus, so it's a Venusian vibration tap, no doubt about it. It's about love. It's about harmony. It's about partnerships, right? And these are the things that we need at the end of the day. But we got to make sure that we watch them with that Libra energy, because see, Libra energy can be very, very manipulative. Oh, come on now, let's go. We got to be really careful with that, because it can be, Libra, devil's advocate, you know what I'm saying? They like to make sure everybody is getting their fair share and everybody is getting heard and whatever, what have you, right? Get into that energy of people pleasing, but it can also be very manipulative at the end of the day. And so we want to make sure that we checking in on that, because that glamour magic, right? Libra is definitely masterful in that particular energy and everything. And we're going to talk about that, because, this is going to really help us in really being able to tap into the energy, the frequency, the vibration of balance, of harmony, no doubt. And so when you tapping into that Libra vibration and everything, one of the things we want to do is make sure that we are sending some love to our adrenals, our kidneys, our bladder. That's what I'm seeing right now, is that energy. And so Libra rules over that. And I've been tapping in with Libra energy because we got this beautiful weather where we can mix and match the summer clothes with the winter clothes. Right? That equinox energy. Breaking out the linen and the leather together. Pulling out my silks, no doubt about it. Well, I just deals with silk, no doubt. But when you mix them together, Libra energy, it really helps you in being able to balance it. This is where a lot of the androgynous energy comes from, right? Where we put the dress on with the cowboy boots, or even some of the folks, they like to wear the Timberlands and everything, right? The jeans, the t-shirt, the button-down shirts, the neat look. But see, Libra tapping into that particular energy, or that balance, or that androgyny. But for me, I'm more tapping into the harmonious, the balanced, the proportionate energy. See, when I tap into this Libra energy, see, this is where I got into wearing these vests. covering over, okay, that back area and everything, but it just really helped in bringing a whole nother level of proportion. Hold up. So then another thing I wanted to talk is the cinch. The cinch is another thing that I get into. Because see, Libra energy, it taps me into that symmetry and everything. And so when we want to definitely tap into that energy of the balance and everything, you really want to tap into the symmetry as well. See, one of the things that defines that Libra style is flirtatious. It taps into that energy of that popular girl vibe, right? Can be very chic, very stylish, right? Get you a good quality belt that helps and structure your wardrobe and everything, bringing that symmetry to the waistline and everything. That's a Libra tap. Like I said, the vest, I like the vest. I keep dealing with that and everything. It brings a level of symmetry to the outfit and everything. And any of those things that can streamline is an auspicious tap into Libra vibration and everything, right? Charm bracelets, necklaces, and everything. I'm not a big charm bracelet person, but I do notice that if you know what I'm saying, when I do see that, it feels very Libra to me. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? However, for me, when I'm dialing in, and this is one of the things, even with with the Virgo tap as well, is the dainty earrings, as opposed to the oversized, loud, gaudy earrings and everything. But you got to tap in and dial into that Libra vibration any way that you want to. But I want to let you know the words, one of the most defining words that you'll want to utilize is going to be chic, flirtatious, popular. You want to tap into it on that particular level. Symmetry, proportion, balance. That's a Libra tap. And so with that, this is really going to allow us to really begin tapping in to those particular energy frequencies, right? Again, this glamour magic, it thrives here in Libra. It thrives here. And so you can really take an outfit and make it so much liver than what it was, because Libra is that energy that knows how to harmonize one with the other. See, this is where you can really show off and show your creativity right here. And so this is why the goddess of dragons been coming through Nagua. Because the goddess Nagua, she comes through tapping in, because this is the goddess of dragons, no doubt. See, this particular goddess reminds us about sharing our creativity and everything. It helps us in ease and isolation. An auspicious tap again in that Libra energy. Libra is very social, right? See, the goddess of dragon Nagua, the story with her is that she was a goddess of creativity, and she came upon the earth and she got bored. And so she started sculpting clay and began to breathe air into them, and they came to life and began the form of a human. And so when she created these clay figures, she breathed life into them, made humans and everything. This is that whole energy of tapping into that creativity and everything. And so the goddess of dragons comes through in this profound way, reminding us of our creativity, reminding us of our need to be out into communities and having connection, and being around individuals that are like minds, that support your ideas, that encourage your gangster. You need this in your life. And so Libra energy is an auspicious energy to tap into, so that we can really move into this more creative space. But this is also asking that we become more watchful and aware, because we had that eclipse that came through at 29 degrees of Virgo, which has really set the tone for us to move into this transformative energy. And so some auspicious colors that's helping me to really, really dial into this particular energy of tapping into this dragon magic, of really allowing myself to move into this space of balance and harmony, bringing that creative vibration into my life, baby. Really taking all of the lessons that I've learned and turning them into wisdom. See, now this is where we get down with all of that. Because see, when we go into this divine feminine season, when we start finding ourselves going within, we're going to see that we've been challenged and tested by a lot of those individuals that we're connected to. And so this is going to be your time to show and prove, family, to be able to show that this work that you do and this path that you want, this is actually beneficial in the way to go. And so we can move up out of these old paradigms and move into a way of life that actually works by bringing balance, by bringing harmony, by bringing justice into our lives. So when that goddess of dragons came through in a powerful and profound way, the goddess Tiamat coming through in a profound way, this is about tapping into that level of magic that's within, that proceeds. See, because dragon magic, let me make sure I'm checking them. Dragon magic is ancient energy, baby. This predates all of these religious systems, right? All of these spiritual systems. That's why they don't give a shit about your initiation, your activation, your teaching. They don't give a shit about that. They want you to tap into your magic, your creativity. And you do that by moving yourself into this balanced space where you're showing up for yourself in some profound ways. See, because when you know who you are and you are true to who you are and at peace with who you are, this is when you show up out here in this world with a whole nother level of mastery. You get out here and you get down in these streets and you ain't focused on the foolishness and the fuckery that's out here. You ain't going along to get along. Libra energy got you checking in on that, making sure that the relationships that you got, that energy that you putting out, is being reciprocated back into you. You're able to get out here and shine that divine light out here in these particular streets without feeling like you got to watch your back. Because you done moved into a new level of discernment. And when you see a hater on deck, you know to fall back. You know when you got somebody that's insincere, you know that this is probably not going to be a connection. I don't make them bad people. It means that they ain't in alignment for you. You understand? And so the goddess of dragons is coming through, the goddess Tiamat coming through, reminding us about sharing our creativity, or reminding us about our connection to these earth energies, and reminding us to tap in through the energy of harmony, through the energy of balance, through the energy of partnerships, baby. No doubt. And so one of the auspicious colors to tap into, to really dial into this, that I've been vibing on. These is ones that I'm doing. You figure yours out or whatever, what have you, or try out what I'm doing. But this what I'm doing. I'm dealing with emerald green, cactus green, right? Because these are colors that help me in protecting my peace. Maroon, burgundy, wine colors. These are colors that really help us in opening up to our true self, upgrading our personal power within, right? Because this is going to help us being firm on our square. You said what you said. You ain't sitting back ruminating on whether or not somebody received it well or not, right? You said what you said, right? And so when you open and you true to yourself and everything, see, your vibe is going to attract your tribe. You ain't worrying about if that person was offended by what you said, because clearly they ain't on your vibe. Yeah, let's keep moving. Soft pink, that's another one that I like tapping into, especially if you're working with them rose quartz and everything. Rhodochrosite, what else is that? Rhodonite. Those pink stones and everything really helping enhancing that particular energy, no doubt, right? Because see, these soft pink colors, they really help with emotional stability, right? They upgrade our self-confidence, really making us show up for ourselves in some profound ways, right? It helps us to be able to balance that public public life with the private life and everything, right? So you ain't so worried about, like, see, this social media got us all twisted in our mind, right? When we start really believing the hype that we selling, right? Like, nobody's having a good day every goddamn day, right? But we would believe that by watching some of these folks on social media that's on there. Now, I'm not even suggesting that you get on here and air out all of your dirty laundry and vampire everybody's energy away with telling everybody about your negative bad days and all of this other madness. We ain't doing that. But I am talking about moving more into a balanced and a stable type of energy, right? Where we are in this space of awareness. See, this is what this dragon magic is going to help you to do, is to move into this space of awareness so you can call shit for what it is, so that you can see the truth in what it is. You ain't gonna stick to a narrative that you like because this is a person that you like and you don't want to see them for who they are. You down to see shit for what it is. And no one is above, what is that? Is above being held accountable. Let's do it that way, huh? No one. See, when we move into this particular energy, see, this is why we got all of this madness that's going on in these streets right now. And so this is why the Archangel Michael coming through in some profound and powerful ways, reminding that you got to make sure that you calling on him. This protection energy is real out here. Because while we got the underworld energy that's showing up on the planet at this particular time, you got all the tools to win out here to navigate all of this madness. You ain't no victim no more at this point in your life because you've been there. You've done that. You got the t-shirt out here, family, and you ain't playing these games no more. Now, it's not to say that we move to this space where we got our heart so closed up, we guarding our heart so tightly that we're not allowing ourselves to see, to allow the love in. We got to watch that, especially somebody like me, because I am a true component of protecting my peace. You understand? And sometimes I can get into the point of protecting my peace where I'm not looking up for nobody's shit, no business. I'm not trying to be involved. I don't want to be concerned. It's not my problem. I don't give a shit. I can get into that whole vibration. And so now I'm at this point to where I have routines, I have activities, I have routines and activities, and I'm losing the word that I'm looking for. I got routines, I got structures, I got rituals, and all of these things that really help me to connect to the star player within myself. So I can't navigate no foolishness when I get encountered by it. I'm going to get triggered by somebody that's coming at me sideways with some foolishness. Not with all of the madness. No, not with all of this work that I've been doing. Not with all of the awareness that I have. See, I should be able to navigate these things with true proficiency instead of hiding from everyone, huh? But this is where we at this point in time. This is why we tapping in with this dragon magic, because see, the dragons, they ain't punk ass energy. You understand what I'm saying? They ain't triggered by the truth. They in the business of being able to speak truth to power. They dealing with shit for what it is. They said what they said. They in their truth. They live in their truth. And this is that energy we need to be tapping into. This main character energy, baby. This main character energy. So working with that emerald green and the stones that go along with that. I like that emerald because that emerald is going to really help you to be able to speak truth to power, but in a way that's going to be productive, right? We talking about a way that's going to actually be helpful, not while we go tear somebody down with the truth, because I'm good with that too. You know, thrash folks with the truth. You understand? But see, when we in this track of evolution, you got energies like me that ain't here to play with nobody out here in these damn streets, right? Learning how to rightly deliver that fire out here in these particular streets. Because we can't be playing no more, family. Pluto is in Aquarius. Uranus is in Gemini. Now, it's going to travel back and towards for a hot minute, but trust me when I tell you it's coming back. And this is when things start speeding up. And as we move into 2026, and we notice that these nodes change, because right now we got that North Node that's in Pisces. It's telling us about making sure that we upgrade our level of compassion out here in these particular streets. This is so that we out here fighting for the right causes out here in these particular streets. See, when you deal with that 12th house energy of Pisces, baby, this is about you making sure that you addressing all of this axe to grind energy. So now you ain't out here being afraid to speak your truth. You ain't afraid to make connections. And you ain't out here with axe to grind energy where you sitting around holding space for some old madness that you ain't moved past. And you holding that energy in your next cycle. We ain't doing that neither. No, sir. So that green is going to help us in protecting our peace, keeping us grounded, keeping us in that heart space energy. That maroon, burgundy, the wine, those colors are colors that will tap you into that root chakra energy, baby. This is going to increase your personal power. This is going to allow you to welcome the love, welcome the relationships, but making sure that you true to yourself at the end of the day. You will check somebody's hat at the door for crossing the line, no doubt about that. And these are the colors that's going to help you to dial into that particular frequency. The soft pink is going to really help you in being able to cherish yourself, to nurture yourself, giving you the emotional stability and the self-confidence, right? To show up out here in this world in your truth, in yourself, unapologetically, baby. And this is who you are privately and publicly, no doubt about it. And then the other color that I want to give an honorable mention to is this gray, because gray, it brings that balance and energy, right? This is for those of us who can tap into the dark side and the light side, right? And see, when you tapping into this dragon energy, you start recognizing what's real, right? You know that this ain't airy, fairy, love and light energy all of the time, right? We do live in this real world, right? And we ain't running around hiding from the truth, talking about this is what our highest timeline looks like. And I'm not going to contribute to all of the suffering in the world that everyone is experiencing, because that's not my best life. I mean, if this is what you came here to do, I don't think that you really came here to do this spiritual work, baby, because the spiritual workers is aware of what's going on out here in these particular streets, baby, and we are aware of it, and we still hold our peace. See, this is the mark of the true spiritual gangsters out here, right? See, when you aware of what's going on in this world, and you see the storms that's going on all around you and everything, see, this is what 29 degrees of Virgo is talking about, baby. It's talking about you stepping into this energy of mastery where you ain't triggered by the truth. You can deal with the truth in life for what it is, being rooted, being grounded, being in this space where you can come out here and deal with this world effectively. We need you to stand up. So when this node shifts over into Aquarius, baby, this is humanitarian energy, right? We talking this Leo Aquarian energy, right, baby? This is not punk assery, no doubt. It is not. No, it's not. This is that creative rulership. This is the new way of leadership, baby. These is the folks that's out here speaking that truth to power. But you got to heal yourself. You got to clear that foolishness from your past that's holding you back from stepping into your power. And so this Libra energy, family, this Libra energy is allowing you to tap into this dragon mastery in a way like we have never before. And so when that eclipse came through, and then that equinox hit, and them dragons came through, this was letting us know that there's some new gangsters out here in these streets. And we better start rocking and rolling, family. It's time to go. It's time to go. Let's go, family. Let's get that. So we enter in this dragon magic, no doubt. I hope that this helped you out. Peace and light. Peace and love.